Hi, my name is Christopher Doddridge. You can call me Chris. I am currently a pastor at Hermon Free Methodist Church near the Highland Park area of Los Angeles. I've been here for about 3 years now at this church, about 117 years old now. So I missed out on 114 of those years, but trying to keep it going strong. Yeah, I mean, we were a growing community, really starting to see a lot of new folks starting to attend our services. We had some baptisms that were scheduled. We had some new member classes that we were in the midst of. Just people's lives were being changed. Even some folks were being physically healed from some of their ailments that they've been experiencing for a while. We were working to multiply leaders, doing leadership cohorts, utilizing strength finders, biblical leaderships, empowering them in their specific gifts and ministries, working on starting an immigration center, umbrella nonprofits to empower others in our community to do what they're passionate about. And I just feel overall we were headed in a very positive direction as a church community. You know, after COVID-19, we've had to make a lot of adjustments, kind of like everyone else, I think. And many of those plans, especially when it comes to the property, were put on hold. I think for me, it was a very gradual process. At first, I wasn't taking it as seriously. I think like many people, it's just another fad virus, like we would have every year. Gradually, I started to realize how serious it was over time as the more data came out and you started to learn a lot more about the virus. But I do remember having a specific conversation with Superintendent Glenn Pryor, and we had that conversation about what was about to happen and how serious it was, and him discussing that with some of the folks that he knows who are intimately involved in this situation. And that's when I realized, yeah, this is a big deal. Things are really about to change. Yeah, it was over the course of a couple weeks, limiting it to the number of people, encouraging people to stay home, and then it was everybody stay home and only essential workers can come in. Especially some of the folks that are struggling with addictions. Now they can't go to AA meetings. Now they don't have people with them physically to support them. And so what I've been having to do is really just spend a lot more time with them on the phone than I would have before, and also connect them with some other people in the church. Being able to be physically present with one another, that's our mojo as a church. That's what we do as a church. That's our bread and butter. One of the things we've done early on, once we had the shelter-in-place order, is just start listening to the community. And one of our community members, they've been here for a long time and always appreciated our church bells. And so they suggested, hey, how about once in a while you ring the bell of the church, just to remind people that we're here together and we can share in prayer and thoughts together at once. And I just thought that was the greatest idea ever. And so I was like, well, I'm going to start today. And so I ended up at 6 p.m. every evening for the last 2 months or so since we've been sheltering in place, ringing the bell, and just tried to spread word of mouth as well in the neighborhood. Just telling people, when you hear these bells at 6 p.m. every night, this is a reminder that you are not alone. We are in this together. We are going through all of this together. I know you feel like you're alone sometimes, but you are not. We are with you, and God is with you. When a crisis happens, we don't realize what our capacity really is until we're forced to do it. And then when we're forced to do it, you realize, wow, I had this in me the whole time. And it's been great to see that in a lot of our leaders who have been able to connect and just be a part of the lament that a lot of people are going through, and grieving with people at the loss of just the way things work. And I mean, if anything, that's what the church is here for. It's to be with one another. It's to be present for one another in a mysterious way. It doesn't always mean that we have a solution to everything, but to just be that listening ear, just to be that connection, right? And as we connect with each other, basing that in a Christ-like way, right? We're connecting with God also. We're connecting with Christ himself. This is the time that churches can shine and thrive. And we're just like, okay, how can we all work together to address those needs, right? Making sure that people have the necessary PPE, making sure that people have food if they don't have jobs or groceries and they're not getting a stimulus check anymore. How can we provide clothing? How can we provide presents? But what about after? So be thinking about after. How do we address the needs once this virus is under control? Because we're going to be going into a new world. It's going to be a different world. And I think it's the opportunity that the church in America has not had in decades.